Velkommen til DanBANs adventskalender og rigtig glædelig jul fra os i DanBAN til jer. Over 4 afsnit skal du møde founder og investorer, som i år har fundet sammen gennem DanBAN, og nu er i fuld gang med at bygge næste kapitel i dansk iværksætteri. I DanBAN så handler investeringer ikke kun om kapital, det handler også om mennesker, det handler om erfaringer og partnerskaber, der flytter virksomheder fremad. Derfor så har jeg inviteret en founder og en business angel her til en samtale om deres rejse, om hvordan samarbejdet opstod, og hvad investeringen har betydet, og også hvad de ser som de vigtigste næste skridt. Okay, first of all, we're going to do this in English because I recently found out actually that Carla, who's my guest here in the studio in Copenhagen, she is not a Dane. She is actually from Germany, so we'll be speaking English. And Henrik, who is the business angel lead in this process, he is right now in Odense, so he's participating online. So this is a very complicated setup, but I think it's going to work perfectly fine. Both of you, thank you so much for joining us. It's a pleasure to have you, and I guess also wrapping up a very busy year.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having us.
Carla, can you just do a very short presentation of your startup and what you're doing and where you guys are standing right now?
Yeah, sure. I'm Carla. I'm a co-founder of Nuterials, and together with Maren, about 2 years ago, we found Nuterials. And Nuterials is a Copenhagen-based material company. And as our name suggests, we are connecting nuts and materials. So we actually found walnut shells to be a very useful resource to actually have a little bit of a say in the plastic game. So we're trying to upcycle the shells and make them into a fossil material alternative. We can fit in with standard machines so that it's actually easy for the company to adopt our material in their existing manufacturing lines.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and we just recently closed a business angel round with the lead of Henrik, and we're quite thankful because it really enabled us to now move forward and push our development and also our commercialization.
Yeah, I get that. For how long have you guys been working on Nuterials as of now?
Yeah, for exactly 2 years. So I think it's almost on the day, exact 2 years.
Wow,
so,
congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you.
Also, to be still in the game 2 years in, that's amazing.
Yeah. Sometimes it feels like we're still on the starting line.
Yeah.
But then actually, when you look back, it's quite amazing to see how many milestones you have it and how far we come. And I think, when you then talk with the ecosystem, with other founders, you notice that 2 years is actually quite some time. Yeah. So it feels good. Yeah.
And Henrik, what got you excited about Nuterials?
I think my first impression when I met Nuterials on stage here in Odense I was quite impressed with the founding team and the energy in Carla. So that energy radiated to the audience, right? And then I was also quite excited to have a biosolutions or biomaterials company on stage. So I'm very much excited about technologies that can help in the green transition and using basically the toolbox of nature to produce materials for the future. So it was a combination of the team, the technology, the opportunity, the scalability that just made it obvious for me to take a deep dive into the potential of investing in Nuterials.
And was it a long process, Henrik, before you decided to join? How was that process?
I think it wasn't a super long process because Carla and the team had found some interest from investors before they met me. I'm not sure how long time it took. Maybe Carla can elaborate here to get those investors on board, but once I got involved and I offered to lead the process, it was I think it was a fairly quick process.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. It was actually quite nice because I had the opportunity to pitch in Aarhus first through the DanBAN network, and then I think it was 2 weeks later that I got to pitch in Odense as well. So actually, it was quite condensed. And on those 2 pitches, we found the group that is now investing. So it was a really, really great process.
And how many business angels from DanBAN do you have on board?
Yeah, we have 6 from DanBAN, and then actually also Henrik had some more in his network. So we're now 7.
Perfect. And I guess that's the benefit of getting a business angel on board. You know, it's not only the network of DanBAN, but it's also the network of Henrik that he's able to bring on as well.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Besides from all his great experience and ideas and energy.
Yeah, no, exactly. I think we were quite excited because actually from the beginning on, we kind of said that, yes, of course, the monetary support is important. That's, why you get investors on board as many people see it. But for us, it was also very important to get the network and actually the competencies. And as Henrik mentioned, he's also very much on the forefront in the Biosolution network. And that's a huge help for us. And just getting access to that network and the knowledge, that's actually a major part for us, why we decided for this group and why we're quite happy now, actually, also with the group. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
But I also see you have like a good chemistry going. And I guess that's for both of you super important that it works well.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do you experience that, Henrik? You agree?
Yeah, I think it's a must-have, right? When you invest early on, you need good chemistry in the various teams or between the teams. So that's an absolute must. And I think that chemistry was established quite early, actually. And I also think it's a chemistry that is not just between, me being the lead investor and Carla. It's a chemistry that is much more broader than that. It's all of the investors and the entire founding team that has good chemistry. And, basically we look at the world through the same lens, right? Even though this is an investment, we are here to make money. We will set KPIs for the team, and we have done that. So we've done all the stuff that any investor would normally do, right? And then of course it's cherry on top that we have such good chemistry in the team. And I also think, and I'm being very adamant about this when I tell the story, I see a lot of resilience in this team, being founders and early stage companies, you need a lot of resilience. You need to be able to take a lot of beatings and before you get things right and you reach the market. And I think that's also one of the things that I saw in this team. I think they come with a lot of resilience. They can take the necessary beatings before they make it onto the object. And I think that's a good thing in a founder team.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But that's actually very interesting, and it's not part of my question. So now I'm just diving here. But how do you guys cope with? Because it's amazing to have really, really high highs, but how do you cope with the lows as a team here? Do you call Henrik when shit hits the fan and you're like, what's going on? Or how do you work with that?
Yeah, no, I think, I think also with the investors now on board, like it is quite recent in that say. So we actually have our first board meeting in 2 weeks. But it's also quite nice because I think we have been in touch throughout the process. So it's not that, with the first board meeting, you feel like you're going to see them the first time again. But also internally with the team, I think that's a super, strong set that we have, that actually we address challenges and we also celebrate them. You kind of have to. Yesterday I was presenting at CBS and I was kind of saying, we have a lot of advisors and mentors around us that we can always approach, and now also with the investors we can always approach. I think we can call it 6 a.m. in the morning, but also 11 p.m. at night. That's a blessing. But sometimes it is also the way that, people will warn you of certain walls and barriers, and you're probably going to take full force and run right into them, because that's also the way that you learn and grow. So actually we see it as opportunities,
That's amazing.
as long as you have somewhat of a safety net and you take the right learnings and you don't do the same mistake twice. I think it's part of the journey. So it's actually, also a good thing to sometimes, go through the lows and have those experiences.
And you get stronger together. But would that be an advice for other startups and other founders to be transparent about the lows as well with your investors?
Yeah, very much. I think we were quite honest from the beginning on, and that also kind of sets the tone for the good relationship and also, the shared values. Because if you're not honest about also the things that you don't know yet, then, you first of all put a lot of pressure on yourself, but also on the investors, right? And I mean, as soon as they invest, they are a part of the team. So it's only fair to share the full picture.
Yeah. And I guess that builds the relationship, Henrik, right? With the full transparency that you can trust each other.
I think that's another key ingredient, right? You start out with a high level of trust, and that level needs to be maintained throughout the collaboration, right? So it's a natural thing of doing business that you need to be able to trust each other. And legal documents is one thing that is more of a hygienic factor, right? Everything needs to be in order, seen from a legal perspective, but that doesn't really matter a lot if you don't have trust in each other. So it's absolutely key.
That makes great sense.
Totally.
All right. So looping back to the DanBAN process, which I'm a little bit interested in, because we have plenty, more than, approximately 500 to 600 startups approaching us each year. And not everybody will make it through to a pitch. Mm-hmm. But once you make it through to a pitch, you might even get lucky enough to get investors on board.
Yeah.
How do you experience that whole process? And also now you have actually finalized that process and you got the investors on board. How was that process?
Yeah, that's a good question. And I tried to kind of think about it again afterwards. It felt super personal, honestly, which was really nice. I think the first time that I jumped on a call with Trine, it was
the CEO of DanBAN.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Sorry. It was super nice because we shared our story, and she said okay, come for a pitch. The first pitch again was in Aarhus actually, which was also quite nice because I mean, being German, I didn't know how the system works here. So actually, having the touch point with DanBAN was absolute key for us, because otherwise I was I have no idea how to approach business angels here and who even are the business angels, right? So where can I find them? And and then in the pitching sessions, it was also very great because you were able to have the personal connections with the people. Yeah. So you got to pitch, and then you got together into smaller groups where you could actually have a conversation, and also where the investors could ask questions straight up. And then after the pitch, you get a list with the investors that are interested in a further conversation. So we did that in Aarhus, and then did the same thing in Odense afterwards, because after the first one we had, 5 people interested. So it was quite nice because in that moment we could bring the whole group together already. And even though not everyone knew each other in the group, they, I think, got to know each other quite quickly, which helps a lot if they also have some synergies between them. And then, DanBAN supported and set up a further due diligence or process to get to know each other. So and then it was on us. Yes. So that's also nice, right? We could take it from there, and we could just run with it, and and that's what we did.
That's amazing to hear, because we've also from the DanBAN side really tried to make, especially the pitch events, more founder friendly is what we are calling it, in order for you guys to feel safer when you guys are presenting, but also for the business angels to get to know you better. Mm-hmm. And once you have a safe environment where you feel supported, it's much easier to present in the best possible way. Yeah. So I'm happy to know that actually helped.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And I think in Odense we were even sitting outside in the garden having the conversation, right? So
at Henrik's place. Yeah. It's an amazing place.
Exactly.
Highly recommended.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. But it was nice because it didn't feel it didn't feel like you were on a big stage where you had to really show off, but it was very personal, and I think that's something that's sometimes a little bit underestimated, that we're all people, right? And we're all here to find a shared interest, and that's basically what it's about in the first place. So,
when it comes down to it, it's actually very personal. It's about chemistry and getting to know each other and sensing if there could be a relationship between founder and a business angel.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so just to wrap up now the podcast here also, because we could be talking for hours. I have plenty of questions. It's so interesting. But perhaps we can do it in a year as well. Let's see what's going to be happening in 2026. What are the goals that you guys have set eyes on?
Yeah. I guess I can go first.
Yeah, let's see if you guys agree.
Yeah, exactly. No, actually, it was quite nice because, we took some time to sit together and actually make the milestones together.
Okay.
So we have clear milestones in the different areas of the business. First being the proper commercialization and really going to market. We have early sales, which is really nice to validate the base of it, but it's about pushing it to the next level now and actually, validating our technology and our products in the market, especially also with our beachhead markets. So that's, of course, the first goal, as it probably is for many startups to make sales. And then the second one is to really push on the product development. So for the R&D process, we actually invested in some machines, lab scale machines, because we want to be on the forefront of, enabling biomass to be upcycled into new materials that can then be used for the market. So a lot of development still needs to happen, and we're quite excited about as well. And then lastly, it's the team. We're also really excited to expand the team. We now just had the chance to onboard our first, full-time and head of commercialization. Wow. So Morten is part of the executive
That's
team.
A milestone, right?
Exactly. Yeah. That's really, really nice. It was also enabled, of course, through the investment. In 2026, we want to continue growing the team, also especially on the engineering and R&D side.
And do you find also a balance in it? Do you have a work-life balance going on? Or are you just working 24/7? How is that working?
Yeah, no, I think we always try to keep a work-life balance. I think it is hard, for sure.
So it's true what they say?
Yeah, I think so.
Startups are working really hard.
Yeah, but it's also because it's so tightly connected to your passion, right? You kind of chose a startup because you're passionate about it, about what you do want to do, and then it's really hard to ignore that part. And I think that can be a blessing and a curse. And it's about kind of managing. And I mean, work-life balance doesn't always need to be in a day, right? It can also be seen in a broader picture. I think it's more about the mindset behind it, and then making sure that you have the supporting network that that is helping you on the way.
Yeah. What are your words, Henrik? Do you agree with Carla on the goal set for 26?
Yeah. I definitely agree with Carla, because what we did in the process was that when they pitched and they told us all these things that they would like to do, well, then I guess we were, I don't know whether or not we were unfair or not, but we just said, well, fine, let's make those into milestones, and then we the investment, right? And so they have a little bit to work for. That being said, I'm not worried at all. This team will make those milestones, and 26 is going to be an exciting year. That's basically going to be a stepping stone to something bigger. So I'm very excited about being part of this journey, right?
Amazing. Well, let's do an agreement then. In a year from now, we will do a new video podcast, and then let's see how it went, right? Are you in on that?
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Good plan.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So, yes,
pressure's on.
Being paid if we reach the milestone.
Definitely. I promise. That's a promise.
That sounds like a good plan.
Yeah. Guys, thank you so much for taking the time to meet with us and just to give us a short sight into how things are going in Nuterials. I'm super happy to get to know you better also, Carla. Henrik, I know you very well by now. It's a pleasure as always. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you so much.
And Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.